Hey, Falcons Nation! Drop everything you're doing right now because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. The front office is making moves, people. We're talking seismic shifts that could completely transform this franchise. And I'm not talking about small changes, I'm talking about the kind of chess moves that separate championship organizations from pretenders. You think the hiring of Kevin Stefanski was big? Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. The dominoes are falling, and when I tell you who's in the building for interviews right now, you're going to lose your minds. This is the kind of aggressive, forward-thinking approach that's been missing from this organization for years. Stick with me because we're diving into two massive interview stories that have the potential to completely reshape the Atlanta Falcons' future. One could revolutionize our offense, the other could turn us into a draft dynasty. This is must-watch information right here. But listen up if you want the full insider breakdown on these game-changing moves and you don't want to be the last person in your group chat finding out about it. You need to hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell right now. I'm talking exclusive updates, behind-the-scenes analysis, and breaking news the second it drops. Don't let your fellow Falcons fans get the scoop before you do join the thousands of dirty birds who are already locked in and ready to rise up. Are you in or are you out? Subscribe now and let's dominate this offseason together. All right, let's start with the offensive side of the ball, because this is where things get spicy. Brian McClendon. Remember that name because he might be the guy calling plays for Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts next season. The Falcons have officially requested permission to interview the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receivers coach for our vacant offensive coordinator position. Now, I know what you're thinking, a receivers coach? For OC? But hold up, let me tell you why this makes perfect sense and why you should be excited about this possibility. McClendon isn't just any receivers coach. This man has a track record that's absolutely elite. In Tampa Bay, despite dealing with an injury-plagued receiving core, his unit still produced 28 of Baker Mayfield's 41 touchdown passes in 2024. Let that sink in. 28 touchdowns. That's not luck. That's development, that's scheme, that's excellence. And here's where it gets even better in 2025, with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin combining for only 63 catches due to injuries. McClendon still got first-round rookie Emeka Egbuka to have a standout performance. Plus, he developed 7th-rounder Tez Johnson into a legitimate weapon with 322 yards and 5 touchdowns. This man takes talent and maximizes it. Can you imagine what he could do with Drake London? With Darnell Mooney? With Kyle Pitts finally being unleashed the way he should be? The possibilities are endless. But here's the thing that really excites me about McClendon: his college pedigree is insane. Over a decade at programs like Georgia, South Carolina, and Oregon. He was Georgia's interim head coach twice after Mark Richt left and at Oregon. You don't get those opportunities unless people respect your football mind at the highest level. This guy knows how to develop talent because he's been doing it his entire career. And now, stepping into an OC role with Kevin Stefanski as head coach? That's a combination that could be lethal. Stefanski brings the structure, McClendon brings the creativity and development prowess. Now, full transparency, Tommy Rees is still the favorite for this job. But the fact that we're casting a wide net, interviewing multiple candidates including Drew Terrell from the Cardinals, shows me that Arthur Blank and this front office are doing their due diligence. They're not just settling for the obvious choice, they're finding the best choice. And McClendon represents something crucial: fresh blood, new ideas, someone who understands modern offensive concepts and isn't afraid to be aggressive. That's exactly what this offense needs. But here's where things get really interesting, Falcons Nation. Because while everyone's focused on the coaching staff, there's another interview happening that might be even more important for our long-term success. Andy Weidl, Assistant General Manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's in our building right now interviewing for our vacant GM position. If that name doesn't immediately ring bells for you, let me educate you on why Steelers fans are panicking at the thought of losing this man. Weidl came to Pittsburgh from the Philadelphia Eagles, and the moment he walked through the door, the Steelers' draft philosophy transformed. Suddenly, they started prioritizing the trenches. Offensive and defensive lines became their focus. And guess what? It worked. Look at the 2023 draft class. They hit on almost every single pick. Broderick Jones, while still developing, was a first-rounder. But the rest of that class? Studs across the board. That's not luck, that's elite evaluation. The 2024 and 2025 classes? Same story. The Steelers have remained competitive despite quarterback chaos, despite coaching changes, despite everything, and a huge reason is the influx of young talent that Weidl has brought in. Here's what a Steelers fans losing sleep: Weidl is the guy doing the heavy lifting on draft preparation. Omar Khan gets the final say as GM, but Weidl is the linchpin, the architect, the mastermind behind their recent draft success. And now we're trying to steal him. This is aggressive. This is the kind of move that shows we're serious about building a sustainable winner, not just a flash-in-the-pan playoff team. Think about what Weidl could do for us. We've got Michael Penix Jr. already. Imagine surrounding him with elite draft picks year after year. Imagine consistently nailing our offensive and defensive line selections. Imagine having a GM who understands that championships are built in the trenches. The Steelers organization is reportedly desperate to keep Weidl. Articles are literally being written in Pittsburgh begging their ownership to do whatever it takes to prevent him from leaving. When rival fan bases are that worried about losing someone, you know you're onto something special. This isn't just about one good draft or two good drafts. Weidl has proven he can build sustainable success through the draft. That's gold in today's NFL, where the salary cap makes it impossible to build exclusively through free agency. Now let's zoom out and look at what's happening here, because this is bigger than just two interviews. This is about identity. This is about the Atlanta Falcons making a statement that we're not content with mediocrity anymore. We're not just making safe hires, we're going after the best minds in football, regardless of where they're currently working. Kevin Stefanski as head coach? That's the foundation. But a foundation means nothing without the right people around it. If we land McClendon as OC, we get someone who can develop our offensive weapons and create explosive plays. If we land Weidl as GM, we get someone who can consistently replenish our roster with elite young talent through the draft. That's the formula. That's how you build a dynasty, not just a playoff team. And here's what really fires me up: we're not waiting around. The coaching carousel is spinning, front offices across the league are scrambling, and we're being proactive. We're identifying talent, we're requesting interviews, we're putting together the kind of organizational structure that can compete with anyone. Look, Falcons Nation, I can't predict the future. Maybe McClendon doesn't get the OC job. Maybe Weidl stays in Pittsburgh. But you know what I can tell you? This organization is awake. The days of conservative, uninspired moves are over. We're hunting for excellence, and we're not afraid to poach it from successful organizations. The Buccaneers won our division. We're trying to take their receivers coach. The Steelers have been a model of draft consistency. We're trying to take the guy who made it happen. That is how you build a winner. You don't settle. You don't play it safe. You go get the best, no matter where they are. The future is being written right now, and these interviews are the first chapters. Stay locked in, Falcons Nation, because this offseason is going to be one for the ages. Go Falcons!